Hello, everyone. Today I am gonna be continuing Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Turnabout Trump. We just finished part one, and Phoenix Wright reveals that there's a fourth person. Who will this fourth person be? Will it be Givon or Givant? I think that's his name. Uh, let's find out. April 20th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga Orley, recovered?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, she regained consciousness.
Perhaps we can hear her version of events again.
Uh, that's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued.
You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insignificant ground for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Nay, nay, not. Ha! Name's Olga Orley. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers Orley. Oh, oh, really?
You want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like "oh, really."
Ha! Okay, so me having a poor Russian accent isn't because I actually do have a poor Russian accent. It's just canon to the story. You can't make fun of me for it. It's canon.
There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied.
Witness, you will tell the court what you really were up to that night.
Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see?
Let me remind you that you're currently under oath. Not that it matters in this game, in these games, you know. People can lie all the time. He says, "I will give you," and all he says is, "I will give you like a stern talking to after this, and you won't go to jail 90%, 99% of the time, unless the plot demands it." Oh, sorry, I messed up a bit. I accidentally changed tabs. Let me remind you that you're currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Supposedly. Fine.
Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borsket Bowl Club several times prior to the night of the crime. As a waitress.
So you were in cahoots with the victim.
Not that he needed my help, Smith was a well known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying the legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith will call him out and search Wright. He will pull out the planted card and trap, and the trap would snap shut.
You swapped the cards?
Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double pay. Just like that, the legend will be dashed to pieces.
Indeed. Getting caught red-handed and cheating will cast doubt on all his prior wins.
A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan.
Oh, really? Orly? How droll. But it appears he made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right.
He's lucky. I'll give him that. You'd have to be To slip free of a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers Orley.
Oh, really? The witness will be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick.
Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad.
When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung.
I'm calling some lies. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up the bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no-good cheating defendant.
But how's he cheating if... What, you just admitted that you... I'm confused. Why are you calling him a cheating defendant? Did he do something? But then if he did something that made you think he'd cheat, then there's no reason to call him cheating. Cause the cheating... Make him look like he was cheating in the first place. Or am I... A surprisingly frank testimony that leaves us mostly in the dark.
The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect. If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up.
Look who's talking, yeah. Well, that testimony for what it's worth. It's all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like hers, who need criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? What do you mean? He's been defending... No, never mind. No.
I ended the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Mr. Smith searched him. Wait, is there a... Oh.
Wait, Oh.
That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to.
Let's play a card. Which card was it exactly?
The trump card, the 5 of hearts.
Let me guess. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least that's what you're going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruin his legend.
I slid into Wright's pocket.
When was this?
Why, before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Brisket Bowl Club, we searched brisket and suckers.
Remind me to never go there.
Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good brisket, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken.
Oh, a brisket is food. Okay.
And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Mr. Smith searched him.
So everything went according to plan?
Exactly. The 5th ace came out, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would forever be known as a cheat and a fraud.
Those are the worst thing to be known as, I suppose. No, I'm pretty sure being a murderer is worse. Tell us, what happened with the search?
But the planted card was gone. The trap failed.
The card disappeared?
Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone, without a trace. Poof, zippo. We searched every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hat.
But the card was nowhere to be found, and is this correct?
Never in my long storied career. Never has Quickfingers Orley been so readily do.
I would think just putting it in his pocket is such an easy place to, to find a card like that. Like if he, I don't know, putting your hands in your sweater is like one of the biggest things people do. Like, people do that all the time for no reason. I don't know why you thought it was a good idea to put the card in there. Like, you did not think he would just put his hands into his into his sweater. I mean that's what he's been doing so far in this trial, right? Like, so you should have seen that he always puts his hand in there, but you still did it. I don't see, she's just bad at her job. Oh, really? So So what did happen to that 5 of Hearts?
Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant?
So the 5 of Hearts is still missing in action.
The next moment, Fry picked up a bottle and swung it.
Oh. Wait, isn't that a little odd?
What's odd?
You searched Mr. Wright, thoroughly, and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim.
Well...
What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Miss Orley, you're hiding something.
What? What are you talking about? You... Me? Quick Fingers Orley hide something? The defense will remain from baseless accusations.
I have one question for the witness, then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw when Wright hit him. With my own eyes, I saw it.
This weird vibe I'm getting. That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? What the? Oh my god, it's the Sharingan! Whoa, what's going on? This sensation. It's coming into focus. There, that twitch. So clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. Gotcha. It's like I could... No. Miss Orley, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself.
Unaware of what?
Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand.
My neck? So what?
What indeed, Justice? I didn't notice anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it.
A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about?
This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you would have evidence of this memory to show us. Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her most at the moment of the crime? Miss Orley, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe that weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is... the bottle, I guess? That's the only weapon I can think of. No, sorry. No. Okay. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle of the murder weapon? But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain?
What's he talking about now?
It was Smith, the victim who was hit, not you.
This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness' habits, they're completely irrelevant.
Justice. I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain it later. Trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment.
Yet, I must know nothing.
No, you're not Russian. The witness will testify. Please now.
Bah, fine. Bah, fine. He's the one who did it. Don't let him out of your sight until the cops. Oh, he's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops are. No. Didn't he? Didn't he go upstairs on to make the phone call? Let me press. You seem uneasy. You try standing here. Her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at the table until the cops came. No. We know for a fact that he went upstairs to call the cops. Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness, yeah. So, what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is flawed. It's basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence. What's that? Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. The evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him sight until the cop. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. His phone, used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. Yeah. Take that! Miss Orley, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Bowl Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. The man who picked up the bottle and swung that night wasn't the defendant. Yeah, I know it. So it was her, so she could not have been a witness yet. So she cannot claim. Yeah, she saw him hit the victim. So we have no proof that Mr. Wright murdered. So this is good, right? Check his pockets now. It's gone. The card's gone. He'll lose. Ah! Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle next to Wright, and he hit me. You, some master of cheating you turned out to be. When I came to, the victim was already dead. Oh, the victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why. I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Oh, where does this leave us? Madness! This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big, fat liar. What? 3 were in that room on the night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of that argument was murder. What? I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. what tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled, we catch ourselves in the process.
Mr. White?
Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin.
What are you saying?
Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder.
Right? Like Mr. Wright was saying before.
Right. Like Mr. Wright was saying before recess.
A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder.
And the one who swapped the card didn't know two colors of cards were being used. A fourth person.
Ha! This theory again! Your fourth person doesn't exist!
Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal.
The real criminal?
And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less.
What?
Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry? Remember what I said. The fourth person who swapped the card made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards were used for the last game were red. Yet, there's one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue.
Really? Yeah, I can't remember. Is there a person who's like that? Guess was it Mr. Payne? Yeah, like Mr. Payne said it was blue earlier, I think. Like, I think everyone said it was blue right after that.
Yeah, I had that impression too, but why?
Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was?
It's not me, I swear.
Who is this fourth person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? I don't remember who said that. Let's hear what the defense have to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Well, I'm suspicious of Gavin because he said he was there earlier, right? Like at the beginning of the trial before he said he was eating dinner with him last night, like the night of the murder. It can't be Phoenix because he's innocent. He's the innocent one. Like we know he's innocent because he's the defense. He's the defendant. He's dead, so he couldn't put it after. He was calling someone. She was knocked out, and we were all trying to argue that she didn't do it. Like that's what Phoenix is doing. I don't see how it could be him. So I guess the guy I was already suspicious of in the first place, Christoph Gavin. Oh. As I expected. Okay, yeah, like I was right in the first place. Woo! Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right. Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue. The ones on the floor or the table. But look! You can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. Oh! I forgot about this. It's true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. It was only that, okay? A competition. Here, only the cards, their backs, wreath, and blue flame know its final outcome. Well, Christoph?
Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Gavin, is something the matter?
No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Kristoff. You know even I never take a joke this far.
This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder?
I assure you, I'm quite sane.
But what possible connection can Mr. Gavin have to the victim?
I wasn't aware that I had it connected to Mr. Smith either.
Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met.
Well, what if they have?
Huh?
There's a possibility. There's a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth, Mr. Wright? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Only one thing to do.
Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court.
The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to this case. How could anything happening before the game of poker be related?
I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin.
As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley...
Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you.
Oh, okay.
Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony?
Yeah, arrest that bitch. This is Mr. Wright's strategy. He's planning this all along, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. But, I too, Justice. You'll betray me, your teacher? I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth.
Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take to the stand, please.
Okay. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. Wait a minute. Oh, this is Shady Smith. This is supposed to be like he's a shady person. I just got that.
Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left.
When the trap failed, Smith hit the witness. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead. Blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. Wait, hold on. How do you see the cut on his forehead if he had his hat on? That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Wait, let me see.
Mr. Gavin?
Wait, hold on, let me see something. Yeah. Like, he had his hat on when he's knocked out. So... Huh. That's weird. Why did Mr. Wright lie? Is he lying, or did someone put the hat back on after? Let's see.
Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder.
I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I have become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong.
Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
justice.
Sir?
He's lying, and you're going to expose him.
Understood, sir.
Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial?
Okay. Sorry, guys, for that sudden cut. My voice was getting messed up, so I need like a little break to drink, and yeah, I need to get cooking on dinner. Okay, let's continue. That evening with Christoph and I had dinner. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Okay. We had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Borske Bowl Club quite frequently. We're enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot as usual. Usual? I always eat at the table closest to piano. I see. I see where Mr. Smith is sitting.
So, the plates on the table are from your diner? Or from your dinner?
Indeed, the remnants of my meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, then Christoph left. After that, Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time? That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure.
Right. What was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shady may have met?
I believe I did say that.
I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall?
Does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. A metal trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orley mentioned?
The plan was so elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand. Then, deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands are revealed, Smith will call them out and search Wright. He will then pull out the planted card, and the trap will snap shut.
You swapped the cards?
Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Yes. A harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it.
A quack.
I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yeah, no shit. That was a stupid place to hide something. The card she planted? Like, she should have put it, like, under his table. Like, you know, right above his seat or something where he can, you know, where he'll just lift up his arm. But no, like, she put it in his pocket. The card she planted? Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen if I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
An empty bottle of grape juice?
The murder weapon? Wait, hold on. No, that doesn't make sense. Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The color glass makes it hard to see, but hold on a minute. The bottle's empty, isn't it? Yeah, the bottle's empty. That's right. Yeah, it's empty. Yeah, okay, so this goes in my theory that this is not the bottle and it was just swapped out. Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it during their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the poker head of the courtroom number 3 approves his power of wits. Oh God, is she just gonna? Oh God, he's just gonna call himself that now. Please revise your testimony with this new information. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in a bottle. Press. Why in the bottle? I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew what was coming. Ho ho! So you struck first. I like that. I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me. At least when you get lucky and stick your hand in the pocket. At least when you get lucky and stick your hand in your pocket, they don't. Why are they acting like this is like a lucky thing? Like I'd be surprised if he didn't do that. Like that's like a normal thing people do. Like for when wearing sweaters and stuff. Even just pockets. At least I do. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. Like, see, he's putting his hands in the pocket right now. He just casually does it. It's not a lucky thing. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. Okay, yeah, that doesn't make sense because here it shows that the hat was on his head. Yeah, so. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Oh, is he a liar? Oh. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? Ah, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. Eh? You put that hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph. And? I picked his hat off the floor and put it on his head. Why do you do such a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Miss Orley didn't see it? It being the victim's, his head? I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who had witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Ahem. Pardon. It just seems our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Uh-oh? Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Chatty Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. I discovered this trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. Bye, Mom! Oh. Okay. Okay. Well, there's no card in the bottle, so just present that. No. Okay. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No? What, Mr. Wright? Surely, isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say I know what happened in the card. Yeah, like, because like, the the bottle was changed out with one of your, like, the weapon was changed out with your bottle. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out, and a sixth person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the car just disappear? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Damn. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew. I mean, to be fair, you're like kind of accusing him with murder. I feel like you'd be upset regardless if you're his client or not. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Yeah. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Eh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say it had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night. Recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good. He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's... Okay. So that shows he knew about his bald head, even though he should have his hat on. Okay, so that means he was at the very least, he was at the scene of the murder. It wasn't you, wasn't it? Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. China plate? A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something not right about the phone call. Yeah, he somehow knew about the bald head. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borsket Bowl Club. Well, certainly. Then, how did he know? When did he see this bone china plate? Oh, that's right. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the scene of the crime. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how do you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason? The reason why you put the victim's hat back on? Your point, Mr. Gavin? Let's come down to this, has it, Phoenix Wright? Order! I will have order, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony?
Yes, as the prosecutor,
Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which, Mr. Gavin will take the stand for cross-examination. After which, Mr. Gavin will take the stand for cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. April 20th, 2:32 p.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby Number 2. Number 3. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Ryan are both in the judge's chamber. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? Oh yeah. Like if this is just the first trial, I wonder how complicated the other trials would be. Like the defense attorney we're working with is the murderer, most likely. I mean, I think it's kind of obvious, especially since it's only the first trial. May I? Huh? What?
Hello, sir. Please pick a card.
What's this all about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all.
Ooh. Oh, but what does it... Huh? I mean, why wouldn't there... Huh? An ace? Where do I remember that card from?
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in a row. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you.
The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blood to red. This is blood?
You have your trump card. You have your trump card. Now it's time for you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? Well, I fell deep into thoughts as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Yeah, I was... Can I tell? I mean, okay, I guess the clothes are red here, but... Come on, dude. Okay, let's check. April 20th, 2:45 p.m. District Courtroom number 2. Okay, let's check the court record. Let's see what this is. Received from a mysterious girl. Could this be the missing ace? But like this could be fate. I mean, okay, I don't think. Well, okay, this is Ace Attorney, but like obviously, I don't see how could this be like accepted at all. Like this could be fake for all the court knows. Like I know this is Ace Attorney, but at the very least, you can argue that okay, like the other times it was like a picture or something, like this, or you took it to the police before the trial starts for some of the evidence you bring out in court. But like this was just given to us by just by like Wright's daughter. Like, I mean, I know this is a game, but like, there's no way this could be accepted in a real court. Yeah, let me just. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. The witness state his name and occupation.
Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone to this gone on in this courtroom. We cross-examined a parrot once. So, no. Yeah, it has been. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing you need to have made clear. How do you know the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I guess he means the fact that Mr. Smith is bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it. Okay, please. This has to be like a bluff, because there's no way he doesn't actually know. Oh, okay. Oh, was that right? I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright? What do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. What do you know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taken off, except for that one time. That one time? Being the instant he was hit? Oh! When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer. Is that what you're trying to say? Not bad, Apollo. Mr. Gavin, I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
What?
Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my clients, Mr. Wright.
Oh, wait. Huh? Is he admitting it?
Wait, how's this... Huh? Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see very little to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. How's lying to the court? Is he not talking to... Oh, I guess he's not about to actually admit it. We probably have, more witness test... Not cross-examination for him. Finally, you may begin your cross-examination. Damn, let's try to take it along. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? I sent to that man. That night troubled me. So I returned to the club. Yeah, sure. But I went down to the basement and peeked through that little window of the hideout. Oh, wait. Little window? What's he talking about? Oh, that window there. Yeah, that window. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his head. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Mr. Wright.
So, you witnessed the murder?
For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you're on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What did I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify that you just did. As you just did. You had to tell them that you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright? You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to should Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared?
Yes, Your Honor. Can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. That man, you mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. He was a serious poker player, but was more than that.
So then, you knew the true nature of your client's job?
Of course. But I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know they were friends after all. Word from my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score.
I see. What happened then? I'm so interested.
I went down to the basement and peeked through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. Let's press this. By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene? Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead. And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat.
Can you describe the scene of the crime for us?
A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Yes, as far as I saw at least.
Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police?
Yeah. 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one and not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Yes, this mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to see we're in agreement, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary. How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo? The card that was swapped out at the 5th ace? The 5th ace, right.
Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason?
So I guess it's the card with a little blood on it. It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. Then go ahead and
point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace?
I guess it's this. With like the little blood on it. My reason is, this.
Is that an ace?
Why? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade.
What?
What? This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why?
Could this be? Could this be the missing 5th ace?
Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl that you presented as evidence against him. But, yeah, it's obvious. He's the killer. Like, what do you mean, why is he...
Yeah, it's obvious he's the killer. Oh, that card. It's mine. That is. I picked up at the Boy Scout Ball Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are a stock and trade. No! Impossible! Unacceptable! The courts can't accept this evidence! It's fraud! A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. What? I mean, that's kind of stupid. He's like the person being accused of murder right now. If I was on the witness stand, regardless if I was the killer or not, I would argue any evidence that wasn't taken to the police first would be a fraud if it's against me. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo. I'm pretty sure Winston Payne should have yelled objection right now. Because he kept evidence for the court. And so this evidence could be fake. Take another look at the photo. And at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor. And a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide his blood. Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible. Oh? Right, regardless how I wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene? And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence. This is baseless conjecture. Baseless. Oh, I assure you it's quite based. What? It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. Ooh, okay, this is cool. Yeah, 3D stuff. The hideout took place in the hideout. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with the scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims? The killers? The witness? The second witnesses? Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? Huh? So... I guess, maybe the victim? I don't know why. To be honest, I don't know what's going on with this card. I have not. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess it does work. Hold on. Close door. Okay. Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in the chair. Oh, okay, I see, okay. So the blood would have fell back here instead of the front where the cards would have been. Okay. What does that mean? Well, look. The victim was struck on the head, sending him back on his chair. You'd think any blood will fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Ah! Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood will fall on the floor, not on the cards. What? That's right. So, what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh, man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. Recreate the crime scene, okay? The chair was facing the other way? It would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from the informant of the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was when I came back to the room, the body was facing us seeing this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around? Let's take the next step. Look at this diagram once more. We know now that the victim was facing away from the table, but this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our understanding of the crime? The victims, the killer, the witnesses, the second witnesses. Whose location creates a contradiction the victim was saying? I have no idea. I'm just gonna guess since we're trying to accuse him of murder, so I'm just gonna choose him, I guess. What doesn't make sense is the second witness. You mean to say I don't make sense? Oh, no, of course you do, sir. As I thought. Help. Mr. Justice, I'm a little hard of hearing. Did you just say something? Would you be kind enough to show the court one more time what you mean? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killer, the witnesses. Okay, I'll just save right now. Okay. Wait. Okay. Maybe the victim? Oh, well, the contradicting position here is the victim. Did I get it right? Again? How many contradictions can one man have? Though you're certainly giving him a run for his money. Uh-oh. I messed up again. Am I just dumb? Defense will refrain from contradicting himself out of a case. I'll give him another chance, Your Honor. As you can see, he quite clearly regrets his mistake. I'm not sure I see that, but very well. One more time, please. Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? You know, I'm gonna bring back my load. So, okay. I'm gonna reload, so, because I am, okay, the killers? What's wrong with the kill? The victim was struck from the front, correct? Yeah. Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Oh. Okay. I would think it's hard. It would be quite hard, yes?
Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn in the middle of a game?
I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light.
What?
There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at this diagram. Apollo, the victim was struck where he was sitting, as shown here. Where would his assailant be standing? First, let me just reload my save. Oh, okay, okay. Okay. There's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry. Don't worry. Let's think it through. It's will be fine. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike him from the front? I guess maybe like here, so they have to swing like back. Is it here? I mean, that's the. I guess that's what he was saying. Like, don't worry. The killer had to be standing here.
You get points for flair, but that's about all you get.
I thought I was onto something there too.
I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above?
Ha! Oh wait, this is unique dialogue, so maybe I did get it right? The simple logic, really. Okay, yeah, I guess I did. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation. Right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor? What? There's one more thing your man should look for. Please give him this. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. What was that? Okay. But let's forge ahead here. Well, wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Oh yeah, it'd be blocking the window, but again, this seems kind of weird since it's all based on the fact that that card was real, but... Okay, it's Ace Attorney, so... Okay, how do I... Oh, okay. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been shown here. Now, everything in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. But, okay, but then how would the killer get there in the first place? I mean, it's kind of blocked out, like, and the victim would have to be doing nothing, like, while the guy was, like, holding a bottle and
I don't know, it seems kind of weird. What's this?
What is it now?
Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears they found yet another contradiction. What have I believed to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh, dang. Notice something, Apollo? A line of deduction is rapidly approaching to its logical conclusion.
Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradiction indicator. This is the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness. Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know?
Well, it'll be Mr. Gavin, because the thing is blocking the window. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs.
Ah,
That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What? What did you say? Oh? Is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, Mr. Wright. It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was. But the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from?
excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is the court of law, and I will have order.
We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borsket Boat Club. They examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor.
Oh? What did they find?
Well, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage, but okay, so that's how. Okay, so I guess that is how that happened then.
What?
Yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room that many of our regulars just know about. Do I remember him saying something about that? Now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal going-ons. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. But the room has a secret passage? Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops. And enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. Okay. You see where our little line of simple deductive reasoning get us to, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder. Mr. Wright's return from the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin, come on, say something.
Dare I ask what really happened that night?
Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith, a date with destiny. Where he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it.
Huh?
What? Why do you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. That's right. Miss Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shaddy Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then, our killer stepped out from the secret passage into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside,
Ah, okay. This wheel turn. Oh, okay. After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course. Huh? Yeah? Wait, hold on, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Let's get back to it. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor, and the fact that they were all red. Ugh. Oh, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne!
Yes, Your Honor.
The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, here he is hereby cleared of all suspicion.
Yeah.
Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately. Oh? Oh no. No need no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. Every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your points, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked. Not a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Um, um, excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone, but to me, his own defense attorney. Legal evidence? Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course, this bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking? How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne?
Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were, upside down.
I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court in this case demands an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down. Nope, just picking it up from a box, maybe like, how it is in this picture, He grabs the bottle like this from here, like, I don't know why they're, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this, but, I don't know, it's seeming like this is like some weird way to grab it by, other than this, whacking it with someone, but no. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down, and that's to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Honor? I see how caught fish squirms to last. Well, Apollo? Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down? Other two then. But don't let him trick you into thinking the explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Taking a look at the court record, I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. The justice
Mr. Gavin said that the court in this case demanded an explanation. Don't worry. Justice won't leave until justice is done.
Perhaps the defense will care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down?
This? What? What? It's easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair.
Excuse me? On the floor?
Yes, now reach down and pick it up. Again, without getting out of your chair. See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. Yeah, that's obvious. Like, why is this... with your fingers upside down? Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano. Bottles of grape juice on the floor. Playing piano. The bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times.
Wow, I can't believe it was that simple.
Well, you're kind of dumb. I'm sorry to say that, but throughout all these games, you're kind of an idiot, Judge. I'm sorry. Recall our dinner that evening, Kristoff. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must remember. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon.
Order, order, order. We have to search and discharge us, Mr. Gavin.
Smug, smug, smug. Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottle. What's your proof? Proof? Well, that's as I thought. More baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle as proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure of that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, you recall I requested an additional investigation. Oh? What?
Oh, yes, I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Boschet Bull Club. And here, one of the bottles in question.
What? What are you gonna dust? What, are you gonna dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if anywhere on that but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such an obvious mistake. True. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine the bottle? But why? Just humor me, Mr. Wright. That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. Yep, the card is right there. I was right all along. Yep. There's something inside the bottle. What's this? that card. It can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga Orley? Yes, our little swindling Devotchka. Our little swindling Devotchka. That night I planned it. Wait, this isn't... You telling me that this is the planted card you dispose of? The one you mentioned in the piece of testimony?
5 cards. This is a card. The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done it was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh, oh, what? What the fuck? You got telekinesis or something? That is all. How the hell? You have revenge, Phoenix, right? Oh, oh, you got beef? Okay. Okay, so okay, was Gavon one of the reasons why Wright lost his, lost his badge or something? Like, why? Like, he could not be a defense attorney? Revenge for the events that took away your. Oh, yep. Okay, yeah, I guess, yeah. What could have you done? Revenge for the offense that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right?
This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone?
No. Go back to your hole. I believe this time we finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin?
He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now.
I see, still. One has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't have a connection to the victim, did he?
Not we don't.
I'm guessing that the reason he did it was to get back at Phoenix Wright by getting him arrested, but then why would he agree to be... Well, I guess, like... Well, no. Oh, okay, wait. I think I know. Why, okay, I think this is his reason for choosing Apollo. Okay, Phoenix Wright knew it was Gavin, and then so he hired Gavin so he can go to the courtroom and snuff him out. But knowing him, he figured that Gavin would try to get him guilty on purpose because he knew Gavin is against him. So then he asked for Apollo to do it because he probably figured since he's new, he probably wouldn't be, like, affected by Gavin's, influence or something like that.
None that we know of.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession to be sure. That's all you know about him?
I'll arrange for a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much more significance than me. Much significance to me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I can confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, his courtroom. The second was a man who could tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Okay, so I guess this kind of confirms my theory, I guess? This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright, our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. I mean, I think it's been like 3 days for a trial. Like, that's so. Like, is this finally addressing that? Hey, 3 days for a trial is a very stupid thing, like, process. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. The court found the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty.
Hey.
Court is adjourned. 20th, 4:28 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 3. Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gaff, the killer. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, you did a lot of the work, but I mean, he kind of led you. But you know, yeah. Oh, good. Guys, it's gonna be like the new, uh, Maya, like his old mentor, where like he just shows up at the last minute to save the day. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... I wouldn't call this an ability, but I guess, like... Fine again. That's right. Have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer, right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps he'll learn that in the days to come. Yeah. So, okay, I guess he knew. So, yeah, Phoenix probably knows, and it's related to the fact that, Gavin got him out of being a defense. But, no, wait, that doesn't make sense, because, he already got Phoenix out of being a defense attorney. So, what possible reason would he have to get him arrested 7 years after the fact? I guess something else must have happened. Oh yeah, not that. There's the necklace business. Because I think it's obvious that Mr. Wright took that necklace from the victim. So why would... So I guess maybe that also has a reason why Mr. Gavin killed him. But I don't know, but why though? I can't... Yeah, we don't have the evidence or everything. We'll just have to see later in the game. Huh? Wait, you don't know? You don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. So I'm guessing that maybe that dude stole it from Wright or something? Your daughter, right? That's right, she's my daughter. You were right about this locket. Eh? I took this off his neck the night he died. Okay, yeah, so... Yeah, you see, he probably stole it. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury. You testified. You said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but it's a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then, why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. What? So, I'm so confused. Okay, so that isn't right. Huh. So, was he someone that liked Wright's daughter or something? Or, I don't know. I can't. Well, wait, his daughter seemed quite old, so... Okay, so it must have been more than 10 years ago. So, so she must have been born before the end of the third game. But that would mean Wright adopted her. So maybe that was her real father? Hmm. Yeah, because she looked quite young in that photo. Not yeah, that's how it was now. So, hmm. Speaking of which, I may be out of the job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. Oh yeah, like her. Oh wait, so yeah, doesn't have writing co-law. Like he's not a lawyer, so how would he? Yeah, so he can't hire him. Still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away with Hankins. So, but if that's true, if he was the adopted father, why would Mr. Gavin kill him? Huh? Apollo? Oh, wait, hold on, I accidentally changed tabs. Apollo. Yes? How about coming to work for me? Eh? You mean at the Ranco law offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine it to be true, but wait, but didn't you? You're not. Yeah, how are you still hired? Oh, I turned my badge, yes, but I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago, that legendary trial, and at the middle of it all, was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached to its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Yeah, like what could have possibly happened? Was it like it can't just be he simply lost. Like I don't see how why Wright why Wright will leave just for that. Huh. What could possibly wait, hold on. Okay, I just have thought. Maybe a person but not that he would be arrested. Huh no. No, wait, okay. Let me just continue. Have you ever thought of coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, right? So wait, did you quit or not? Didn't you notice in today's trial there was a single piece of forged evidence? What? Oh, wait, so that was what the? He forged evidence? What the? Right? What the hell? Forged evidence? What are you talking about? Talking about the evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd. It's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I bet this was the forged evidence. The card. What happened to make Phoenix Wright, like, to be able to forge evidence? Want to forge evidence? I'll learn about this. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your, daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. This court can accept this evidence. It's fraud! A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who can claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Well, you didn't even prove that there was a card in the first place, so that's fake. So my verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. And you really? Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor, it's true. I mean, okay, this kind of messed up. For it's kind of messed up. For right, he gave it to Apollo with the, you know, saying that it was like real evidence and could have gotten Apollo in trouble. It's kind of messed up of him. But then again, Apollo was like, you know, he should have known you can't just accept. Cause, okay, it's kind of confusing in Ace Attorney. Because sometimes, you can't just take evidence whenever and just bring it out. But other times you just decide you can't do that because that's wrong. You can't hide evidence from the court. It's just random whether or not you can do that or not. Just bring out random pieces of evidence and no proof you actually found it at the crime scene, or you didn't make it yourself. Yeah, so I guess I can't blame Paul for, but I can't. It's kind of confusing. It's kind of a problem with the Ace Attorney games 7 years ago. None of that matters so much now, does it? Eh? Ah! Hmm? Oh, you punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps it can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, "Take that!" Next time I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. Mr. Wright walked out the door, and that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved, and at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. Okay. Okay, well, I thought this was like a good first trial. There are things that, I didn't like, but that's just like the normal Ace Attorney gameplay story thing about, how how it's inconsistent about how trial works in this universe. But but yeah, overall, it's an okay first trial. I I don't I It's a bit more complicated than the first trial, but I but it's not as entertaining as the first trial in the second game, or the or as meaningful as the first trial in the third game, where me as defending Phoenix. So, yeah. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the first case, and we'll see you guys next time.